All right, let's go ahead and begin our practice seated. Feel free to use a blanket or, again, your towel folded underneath your hips. Cross the legs in whichever fashion works best for you. Let the hands, arms rest somewhere on or beside the body. Close your eyes. So allow yourself just an opportunity here to begin by getting into the neck. As you're ready, invite the chin to gently fall down towards the chest. Let's see what kind of sensations arise as you just start to create some subtle and simple movements in the upper body, the neck, and the shoulders. Here, the spine remains tall. The shoulders and the arms just softly falling onto the body, hands at rest. In our Yin style practices, we do our best to keep the breath passive. A steady, natural inhale and an exhale. As you're ready, start to turn your chin towards your right shoulder, letting the sensations start to travel a little bit differently along the side of the neck. As we move through these little longer held postures, always keeping in mind that any sensations that arise that are unpleasant, then we certainly need to do something about it. We want to use these postures to help create a sense of freedom, not to invoke pain, including numbing, tingling, or anything else. Inhale, return your chin back towards the center, and then you can lift the chin gently parallel with the ground. Let's take our right arm and just sweep it up and over our head, using the weight of that arm and hand to just gently draw the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Feel free to keep your left hand just resting here at that left thigh or knee. Or by all means, let those left fingertips or the palms start to travel down towards the floor beside your left hip. Just this simple act of inviting the left hand to come down towards the floor beside you will help to create a bit more release for that left side of your neck. As you linger here again, just simply letting the weight of your right arm ease the right ear down towards the shoulder, releasing across the neck. Again, let your breath flow effortlessly in and out of the body. It's passive in nature. Your eyes soft, your jaw soft, your teeth, your tongue soft within the cavity of the mouth. Lingering in our yin postures for anywhere between a minute or more. Ease that right hand down now towards the floor on that right side as you start to now lean towards the right. Feel free to turn your gaze down towards that right hand. Again, you can have the eyes closed. And the left hand can continue to just drape beside your body, or you might take that left hand and draw it onto your back body. Whatever feels most comfortable for your left shoulder. There is, of course, an option here to take that left arm and reach it over your head. But I've opted to just stay a little bit more passive, creating an opportunity to release at the shoulder versus open through the underarm. And again, let your breath naturally fall in and out, just softly, lulling the body, if you will. Lingering here for a few more moments. Again, acknowledging any increase in sensation that isn't appropriate or feel right in your body. Our yin practice is very much a do less kind of style. On your next inhale, slowly take your time. Invite the torso to come back to a vertical line. Feel free to roll the shoulders, to move the head in whatever fashion works for you. You may uncross those legs, land the hands to the floor somewhere behind you. As you're ready, you can then bend the knees, place the feet to the mat, and then just slowly invite the hips to come up off the floor. As the hips come up, just create some elevation and some lift. Only lift as much as it feels nice. It's just to get off those sit bones and create a bit of space across the whole front body. Ease your sit bones back down to the floor, and then let's recross the legs in the opposite way. Again, let's invite those hands and arms to rest on the legs, on the lap, spine tall, and to then exhale, gently let the chin fall towards the chest. We begin our little sequence here on the second side. Taking our time, not anticipating what's to come next, but rather just being present to the sensations that arise in the body right here, right now. This is the gift of our practice, is to practice turning our attention onto the now. As you feel ready, let's just turn the chin now towards the left shoulder. Again, eyes can be closed or a softness to your gaze, minimizing any distractions. Through our eyes, we see and witness all of life. And here, when we close the eyes or soften that gaze, we help to expand our ability to drawing our awareness inward to the self, to the sensations in the body, not to the distractions around it. As you feel ready, slowly draw your chin back towards the center, and then again bring the chin parallel to the ground. Let's now let the left arm come up and over top of the head, letting the weight of that left hand and arm gently ease open the right side of the neck. Again, that right hand can remain on the knee on the lap, or you can start to transition the right hand onto the floor somewhere beside that right hip. Invoking some space and some length into the scalenes, the side of the neck, top of the shoulder. But again, only from a place that is of true benefit to you. Of course, if you're not listening, not paying attention to the body and the sensations that are arising, then it makes finding the right option that much more challenging. So bit by bit, little by little, we hone these skills to really listen. Again, your breath is a nice constant for you here. If at any point the breath becomes sharp or shallow or even staccato in nature, and then that might be an indication to us that we need to kind of back off. Give yourself a break. Go easy. There's a time and a place to challenge ourselves. Let your challenge here to do less and listen more. And as you're ready, slowly let the left hand come down to the floor beside that left hip. Turn your gaze down towards that left hand, and then start to lean towards the left as well. As we lean towards the left, the right hand can come off the floor. It can land on the hip, or it can once again be draped around behind you. And this is just a nice comfortable place for that shoulder on the right side to release. Again, the option, of course, is here to take that right arm and extend it over your head. But I've opted to keep it basic, simple. Mind here any possibilities of leaning forward. Instead, practice leaning sideways. A beautiful opportunity here across our side body, and in this case, on that right side of your hip. Again, the breath flows just gently in and out. That next inhale, slowly invite yourself to return to an upright posture, letting those hands, arms, shoulders roll and move as you need to. Feel free to turn the head one way or the other, unfold those legs, Again, plant the soles of the feet to the floor, pressing into those feet nice and evenly. Inhale and float those hips again up and off the mat. Again, just stretching, releasing, coming off the hips while opening that front side of your body and, of course, those shoulders. Inhale, slowly return the sit bones and the hip back down to your mat, where we'll then shift our way off of our blankets and then onto our hands and knees. Feel free to use the blanket under the knees here if you wish. You may also want to take the hands into a bit of a pillow underneath the forehead. I've opted here to place the folded blanket. Some of us may need to roll a blanket under the top sides of the feet and ankles. You can also have those knees just a little bit wider of the torso. The arms can stay forward, or we can invite those arms to come back around the outer portion of the legs. As we linger here in this basic child's pose posture, allow yourself to just spill down towards your mat. Let those shoulders gently fall forward, mindful and always paying attention to any sensation or pressure on the neck. Keep the head slightly elevated by using both either the hands and blanket or one or the other. Feel how the breath gives rise to opportunity here on your back as we linger for just a few more moments. And slowly let's begin to come up onto our hands and our knees. Again, adjusting as you need to, placing the blanket under the knees to give a little extra protection if you wish. Inhale, roll the shoulders onto the back, maybe lift the face, look up. Exhale, round things out, just stretching and moving the spine. Inhale, do that again. Shoulders retract, shoulders roll onto the back, face lifts, exhale, round the back. Yeah. Good. Inhale, find your way through to a nice neutral place where we now find the right arm coming through underneath us. As we twist here, please be mindful of the weight that you're placing on the neck. Although we did a couple seated postures, moving and releasing the neck, now we're taking us into a bit of a weight-bearing experience. So as that right arm comes underneath and through for thread the needle pose, the right ear will start to come down towards the mat. Your left hand can certainly stay in front of the face, supporting some of the weight here. Or you might extend that left hand towards the top of the mat. Another option is to take that left hand again and bring it around onto the low back. But be mindful, as you lift that left hand, it's going to increase that weight bearing on the neck and on the shoulder. You may find that if you explore this option, you may wish to come back to some support with that left hand. Again, listen, do what's right. Any adjustments and movements, let's make sure that we are using our hands, our arms to support our neck in those transitions. Breathe into the space behind that right shoulder here as we again free up the space in the neck. Let the breath fall steadily, effortlessly in and out of the body. And feel free to stay here as you are, or let me start to explore this kind of rolling panda opportunity. Here, the left leg will start to extend towards the side. Sometimes there's an option to bind right hand and left foot. Again, you can continue to keep the left hand on the floor, or should it feel appropriate for you to pick that left hand up and once again bring it onto the low back, then by all means do so. Here we've got that chin moving towards the chest, and we've rolled a little bit more onto the back corner of the head. Again, this can be quite a bit on the neck. So listen to your body, listen to the experience that rises. This isn't about doing the pose, but rather noticing what happens along the way. We take our time. And sometimes it's not immediate, the sensations that arise, but it's what happens when we linger. Practice noticing that now. What are you experiencing in a physical sense and even a mental capacity? As you're ready, inhale slowly. Return that left hand back down to the floor to support the neck. And then return the left knee to the mat if you had the leg extended. Pressing into that left hand, slowly untwist and bring yourself back onto those hands and knees. Let's prepare for the second side. Inhale, and then as you exhale, take now that left arm underneath and towards the right. As you come here, feel free to adjust the knees and the legs in any way. Sometimes an option to place a folded blanket underneath that shoulder, in this case the left shoulder, is best. It takes out the descension of the spine, as well as, of course, offers a little bit of padding and cushioning to that shoulder. Here, your right hand, again, can stay in front of the face, or you might take that right hand and walk it towards the front edge of your mat. And again, as you do these simple transitions and movements with your hands, notice the response that arises in the neck, in the shoulder. There's all these interconnecting lines, and it's our yoga practice that helps us to highlight and understand them. Again, feel free to keep that right hand on the floor here. And by all means, you can take that right hand and bring it up and around behind you, increasing that bit of downward pressure on the shoulder and on the neck. Again, let your breath stay a nice constant steadiness for you. Breathing in and gently breathing out. Should you wish to proceed into the rolling panda, ensure that that right hand has come to the floor to support you in this transition. And then slowly invite that right leg to extend out towards the side. Again, the option there to bind left hand and right foot. Option to, once again, extend your right hand towards the top of your mat, or to place that right hand onto the low back. Your palm can face down or face away. Whatever placement in that hand helps to support and release the right shoulder as well. And your eyes can linger closed here. And offer yourself the opportunity to make any adjustments you need in order to make this best for you. At any point, if the intensity again arises too much, please invite yourself to come back to the layer before, the variation, the opportunity that is a little less intense. And this can be maybe the most challenging aspect of our yin style practice. And slowly return the right knee back down to the mat if you haven't already. And then land the right hand to the floor in front of the face. On your next inhale, untwist, returning yourself into your tabletop posture. Inhale, roll the shoulders onto the back, maybe lift the face, just move the spine. Exhale, round it out, chin to chest. Again, inhale, just a little undulation to release across the spine. And exhale, we round it out. And then from here, finding your way again into your tabletop, to then begin easing those elbows down towards the floor, ideally somewhere underneath where the shoulders were. Feel free to fold those forearms and hands, making again a little pillow for your forehead. Here we come into our puppy posture. Hands and arms can stay as they are, or we may uncross those hands and forearms and start to extend them towards the front of our mat. Of course, this is going to increase the opening on the front side of the chest and shoulders, so be mindful of that. Here, the forehead, nose starts to travel down to the floor, and you may need to place a folded blanket or a block, if you have one, into the space between your forehead and the mat. Ensure that the jaw, the face stays soft here. The hips stay straight up over those knees. Your toes can be flat or tucked under, whatever helps you to, again, just support the opening across the chest and the shoulders. Do your best to keep the hands light and passive. Of course, as you settle and sink here into this, maybe the opportunity to place the chin is available for you onto the floor. As the chin starts to come towards the mat, then the chest too starts to settle its way down and down and down. And again, please notice any tingles or sensations of pinching that is taking place in the shoulders. Give yourself permission to back off. Again, less is more here. Over time, the posture may translate into a more full shape. But if that's not today, then allow that to be true. Again, use your breath as your guide. If the breath is flowing effortlessly and freely, then that's a beautiful indication that there's just right amount of stuff going on in the posture. At the same time, we have to note that we're not complacent and avoiding opportunities for growth. On your next inhale, slowly begin to press into those forearms and hands. Lift the head, ease the hips forward, and come to rest on your belly. Again, you can make a nice little pillow here with your hands, letting the spine and the neck rest in neutral. Your legs are just invited into a comfortable position straight back behind you. And we give ourselves an opportunity just to lay prone facing here, acknowledging the breath and the movement. Feel how with every breath you move ever so passively in and out of a back bend. As you inhale, there's less of a back bend. And as you exhale, we just sink into the depth that our body and the floor permits. Let's come into our shoulders again a little bit. And let's take that right hand and outstretch the arm from the shoulder. Take the left hand and place it on the floor somewhere by those left ribs, and then begin to roll towards the right side, opening your hips, your chest towards the left. There are all kinds of variations and options here, and if you know one that works best for you, then by all means explore that. And we're offering our body here as an opportunity to open across the front side of the shoulder, that anterior delt, as well as, of course, an opportunity for the neck. Here, if there's a lot of tension, strain, or if you're dealing with injury, which is so common in the shoulders, you have an option here to turn your right palm face up instead of face down. Also, the arm doesn't have to be straight out to the side, but rather maybe a slight angle from the body. Okay, that will then decrease the intensity of the stretch and release on the shoulder. Okay, your left hand, it can certainly remain on the floor in front of the body, or again, it can sweep around behind you. You may even wish to keep that left arm extended and open it up, letting gravity assist you here as it moves towards the right hand behind your back. In either case, listen. Turn your attention inward. Use your breath, and let the therapeutics of this practice be available to you. When you're ready, inhale slowly. Ease yourself all the way back over onto your belly. Bring that right arm onto the floor beside you, letting the palm turn face up. And the left arm can just lay resting in a comfortable manner. Your head can remain as is, turned with the face to the left. Breathe in and breathe out. All right, let's change sides. Take the left arm, extend it out from the shoulder, lift the head, look to the right. Take that right hand, place it by those right ribs, and then begin your transition to roll now onto the second side. And adjust as you need to find this opportunity now for the left shoulder. Again, positioning your legs in whatever way supports you best. Let your left hand remain soft, whether it's face down or palm down rather, or palm up. Again, your right hand can remain almost like a little kickstand for you here in front of your body and your torso. Or it can find any variation around back, behind you, whether it's folded in onto the low back or extended and opening out. The option 2 is to use the right hand here as a little pillow under the left temple. So listen to your body. Should you need to again come out of the posture ahead of time, by all means do so. Otherwise, continue to let yourself dissolve, to sink, and to release into this beautiful posture and opportunity to open across the shoulders, the chest, and really the heart space. Invite yourself to linger here for a few more breaths wherever you are. Just soaking up the opportunity. And on your next inhale, slowly invite yourself to ease all the way back over onto your belly, keeping your head turned to face the right. Let the left arm slide down a little more comfortably beside you, the right arm in whatever way that is at ease. Letting your body come to this neutral shape on our belly. And as we're ready here, you return your forehead nose to face the floor. And then we start to transition into a little back bend, a little sphinx posture. Let's invite those legs to come a little bit more parallel. Let the elbows remain perhaps a little closer to your waist, or you can start to walk those elbows forward so that they're underneath the shoulders. The hands can stay straight ahead of the elbows. The shoulders are gently falling onto the back here. And yes, this is there's a bit of work here in Sphinx, but let the bones in the arms support you. Let the shoulder joint itself kind of sink and settle in. The shoulders almost falling onto the back a little bit. Feel free to keep, again, eyes closed or soft, and the chin parallel to the ground here. Acknowledge any and all sensations that may arise in the low back. Okay, decreasing the back bend by adjusting the arms, again, a little bit closer to your waist if need be. Feel free to opt to let the chin fall towards the chest. It makes available, again, a different sensation and release for the upper back and the neck. Again, a place where many of us hold an awful lot of tension. Sometimes it might be nice to just gently turn your head from side to side until you find, just that right spot that, if you linger there and just gently find a couple more breaths, you'll be able to release and ease, kind of soothe, using the posture and the breath combination almost as your own massage therapist. the breath flow deeply, effortlessly in and out of the body. Should you wish to take this a little bit more into a back bend experience, you might start to bend your knees. I invite you to bend one leg at a time and see what that feels like. If again the sensation is increased too much, then please return the legs onto the mat. Again, you can keep the chin moving towards the chest, or invite the chin once again to come parallel to the ground. Breath flows effortlessly in and out. Let yourself linger here a couple more breaths. And if those knees are still bent, ease those legs back down to the mat. Pause. And then as you're ready, ease those elbows wide. And then once again, descend the chest all the way back down to the mat, using your hands as a pillow as you release out of Sphinx. Feel free to bend the knees here. And you can just create a bit of windshield washer action as you move and sway those lower legs back and forth from side to side. Just a simple rocking and releasing. And as you feel complete with that, return the legs to center and then ease them back down onto the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. And then place your hands somewhere beside those ribs and invite yourself once again, come back to your child's pose. Again, option here to keep the knees a little wider. Forehead, nose can be propped again on your forearms, your hands, your blanket. Or you can travel the head all the way down to the mat. Arms can reach around behind you, finding the edges of your feet. Again, breathe into the opportunity that this posture provides for your back body, letting the shoulders gently fall forward. And just the slightest inversion here as the head comes below the heart. Very calming, very nourishing for our body. As you're ready, slowly bring the hands forward under the shoulders, rise and invite yourself to come on up onto the hands and knees, and then ease yourself around onto your seat. All right. So here I'm opting to place a rolled up blanket underneath the back of my right leg. I find sometimes in our forward folds that right knee can find a little bit of an intense situation. The left foot can come into the inner thigh. Let that right leg extend gently over the blanket. And feel free to then place a second blanket or any other support that you might need to come into a really passive forward fold here. You can have as much height in the blanket behind that right knee as you might need. Again, if the intensity is such that this really is not conducive, then please sit a little taller. Position a blanket maybe under your hips, and you can keep, again, that right knee bent. And feel free to prop up as little or as less as you need. Okay, let the right foot remain passive. Let those shoulders gently fall forward. And if you can, please invite the head to rest here as well. Elbows can be bent. You can stack your fists. Or just invite yourself to drape forward and down over that right leg. Again, use your breath as your guide here. Just creating a beautiful opportunity for the back, and of course as well as the legs and the hips. And we let ourselves sink. We let ourselves soak this up. This time and opportunity for stillness and ease. Inviting ourselves to linger here a few more breaths. And then on your next inhale, slowly begin to rise, taking your time to come out of this posture. Shift your blankets out of your way. Ground the left hand on the floor somewhere beside you, and then lift up again off of your hips. Stretch out that right hip flexor. Feel free to roll that right shoulder until you once again then find your way onto your seat. And then we'll transition to the other side. Reposition the folded blanket underneath the left leg now if you wish and choose to use it. And take your second blanket, fold it over top of the leg. Right foot comes into that left inner thigh. And then again we begin practicing our forward fold, propping the hands in whatever particular way works to support your neck, as well as, of course, your back and the legs. Again, that left foot, let it remain passive. Toes can flop to the side. And just easing and reducing any holding that exists. As with on the other side, prop as little or as less as you need. Here, one of the biggest challenges for us to not try to match one side to the other. For our body is truly different, left and right. And of course, it's different day by day as well. So if you need additional support, take it, use it. Give yourself time to explore the depth of the posture, letting it gently unfold. And again, let your breath be your guide here. Turning your attention onto the breath and really just watching it as it moves. Watching where it moves, how it moves. Use it to acknowledge, again, any areas or points where you find a holding pattern. And some of these we're quite familiar with, Some of us might hold our jaw, our teeth, our tongue in concentration. In other spots, perhaps, we're not aware. What's going on in the belly here? What's going on in the foot the ankle. Is there an opportunity for you to just reduce any work that is completely unnecessary? Again, our less is more motto in our Yin style practice. And that is by no means easy and takes repeated reminding, a consciousness in our effort, in our mental effort, to stay present to the experience in our body. And allow yourself an opportunity to linger here for a few more breaths. And on your next inhale, let's slowly begin to come out of this side, shifting your props out of your way, inviting the right hand to come onto the floor somewhere beside you so that you might lift up once again off the hips, just into a little side plank here, stretching out that left side, stretching out the left arm. Ease yourself all the way back down onto your seat, where we prepare for our final closing posture before our relaxation. So here I've got a couple of blankets rolled up to create a bolster. You can use as much or as little height as you like. If you have a bolster, certainly use it. We want to keep the seat on the floor and then invite the torso to lay down over our props. I invite you to take the soles of the feet together here as well. You can prop, again, a small blanket or pillow underneath the outer legs if need be. And then we invite those arms to just lay in rest beside us. Allow yourself to just sink down here into this beautifully supported, reclined butterfly pose. Letting the breath now be an experience on the front side of your body. You'll feel how the inhale offers that opportunity to just expand and utilize the front of our chest. Maybe even feeling the space in and around the collarbones and shoulders moving ever so gently here. Of course, there's option to stay here with the knees bent and falling away from one another. You can certainly return the soles of the feet to the floor, keeping the knees pointed towards the ceiling. Or when you're ready, you can slowly invite those legs to extend long on the mat as we find our way into our final relaxation pose. And of course, here you can certainly keep the bolsters, the blankets rather, rolled up underneath your spine if you like. Or you can invite yourself to lay right down onto your back. Again, I invite you to linger here for as long as you like. And as you do so, I invite you to let these words of the Gayatri mantra wash over your body. Om Bhuvasvaham Tatsavitruvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayam Om Bhuvasvaham Tatsavitruvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayam Om Bhuvasvaham Tatsavitruvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayam. Namaste.